Jargon for today is mand. This is one of my favorite jargon terms because it was the first time that I realized as an autism mom that the experts had jumped the shark, so to speak. The first time somebody was in my home and they said something about, what we're working on right now is trying to get your child to mand. And I remember saying, say what? What are you talking about? And they acted as if everybody walking the streets understands what a mand is. I'd never heard of it before, had no idea what they were talking about. I asked them for a definition, and it was something akin to what I'm going to show you. So our actual definition here: the mand is a type of verbal behavior that is controlled by a motivating operation, deprivation, or an aversive state, and is followed by specific reinforcement. The mand specifies its own reinforcer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we do the jargon of the day. I was no closer to knowing what that was and how it could play a role in helping my child to be able to speak to me. So that's why we do a working definition. Let's take a look at what our working definition, a mand, what it means is requesting, demanding, or asking for something. A lot of times when we start working with a child, one of the first things that a parent will say is, I want to know if my child's going to talk and when they're going to talk, right? And one of the first things, if you're getting sounds, first they're going to work on sound production and doing echoics, but the very next step along the way is working on the mand. And this is an exciting time because if we can teach a child to mand, which is to request something that they want, right? So if the child wants juice, or if the child wants water, if the child wants a cookie, and they request for it, they're going to get it instantaneously. So we're holding out on them a little bit and getting them to make some sort of a sound production. In the beginning, we're going to reward approximation. So if we want the child, if what the child really wants is a cookie and they say "guh," they're going to get a cookie in the beginning. That's going to count as manding. And then over time, we're going to get a little bit more specific. I've shared with you before on the show a great TED Talk, a scientist who was able to wire his entire home so that when his newborn baby came home, every single second of this child's environment was videotaped and recorded from the time the first walk in the door till I think when he was 5. And they were able to take every single moment that he was approximating saying water and put it together across a year and a half. So it went from to all the way through to him saying wah 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 wagga wagga wah water water water, and you can hear it. It takes like 37 seconds for them to stream all of it together. Now this is a neurotypical child that we're getting to hear, but I don't know about you, as an autism parent, hearing that, it reminded me how much work it takes to get to the sound. Now my son did it much later, but it was nonetheless miraculous, and it still happened. I think it's so important when we're looking at language and individuals who are on the autism spectrum that we don't give up, that we teach functional communication until we can get to this point. But when you get to the point where you're teaching Mands, it's really exciting. And you're going to see how this all dovetails together with some of the experts that we've got on here today. So manding, it's really a remarkable thing. When you get to the point where you can mand, you're unlocking a door to all kinds of possibilities. Very, very exciting. And by the way, you can mand without vocal speech. We can teach an individual how to do this with a PEX system, a picture exchange system, or another iconic communication system using iPads and other tablets. Mand, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing for our kids.